English with Astronomy, Episode 3. I think I know who's next. 2 clues. Answer yes or no.
Hit me.
He shares a name with an Egyptian royal dynasty and, about 1,000 years later, a Polish astronomer toppled his universe model.
Yes, and yes. And here are a few more facts.
Let's go.
The episode is called A 1,000-Year Mistake. Only a few scientific works survive the centuries. One of them is the Almagest by Claudius Ptolemy, a book that for many centuries became the basics of celestial mechanics for scholars from the Middle East to Europe. Ptolemy himself lived and worked in Alexandria in the 2nd century of the Common Era. Little is known about his life. Historians think he was a Roman citizen of Greco-Egyptian origin. What did he build in the Almagest? Ptolemy presented a geocentric picture of the universe. The Earth rests at the center, and the sun, the moon, and the planets move around it according to a complex but calculable scheme of deferents and epicycles. The Almagest also contained a star catalog. It listed 48 constellations and more than 1,000 stars. The catalog did not cover the whole sky. It included only the stars visible from Alexandria. For Ptolemy's followers, the work was more than a story. It let them locate the sun, moon, and planets in advance and predict eclipses. He worked with ancient instruments, yet achieved excellent accuracy for his time. The Almagest lists devices such as the armillary sphere for ecliptic coordinates, a quadrant for measuring altitude, and several others. At the same time, Ptolemy strengthened the mathematical base of astronomy. He compiled a detailed table of chords and confirmed the convenient division of the circle into degrees, minutes, and seconds, without which the calculations of celestial motions would have been much harder. These small things outlived all cosmological debates. Ptolemy was not only an observer of the stars, he also wrote about how we see, how light reflects and changes direction. He studied sound and music, why some harmonies please the ear and others do not. He wrote a book about how celestial events were thought at that time to be linked with human affairs, and his large geographical work in 8 books brought together the world known then, the coordinates of thousands of cities and rivers. The fate of the Almagest is telling. First, it was read and commented on in antiquity. Then, in the 9th century, an Arabic translation turned the great treatise into Almagest, from which our familiar name Almagest comes. Through Arabic scholars, the work returned to Europe in Latin and became a pillar of the university course in astronomy. In effect, it was the common language of celestial calculations up to the middle of the 2nd millennium, when new observations and a different model of the world appeared. In short, Ptolemy's strength was not in absolute truth, but in a working model. It provided coordinates, tables, and predictions, exactly what calendars, navigators, and scholars of his time needed. That is why his system lasted for more than 1,000 years and became a strong bridge between antiquity and the science of the early modern era. That's our story about Ptolemy. In the next episodes, we'll talk about the sky, about time, and about finding our way, and we'll return to other scientists later.
Got it. I'll be happy to hear the sky stories. I'm sure you'll explain why the sky is blue.
Definitely. There will be a little color theory in there. For now, let's move to the questions and your recap.
Let's do it. Here are the questions. 1. Besides astronomy, which other fields did Ptolemy write about? 2. In which city and in which century did Ptolemy live and work? Question 3. How many constellations and stars are included in the Almagest's catalog? And finally, what cosmological model does the Almagest present, and which geometric devices does it use? And now my recap. Open your mental library to the classics. There aren't many that last for ages, but Ptolemy's Almagest did. For scholars from the Middle East to Europe, it was the ABC of the moving sky. Picture Alexandria in the 2nd century CE. Ptolemy, likely a Roman citizen with Greco-Egyptian roots, lays out a geocentric cosmos. Earth nailed to the center, while the sun, moon, and planets ride along deferents and epicycles. Not just a story, tables and coordinates you can actually use. He also builds a sky map. 48 constellations, 1,000 plus stars, the portion visible from Alexandria. With ancient gear, armillary spheres, quadrants, he achieves impressive accuracy for his time. Math-wise, he powers up astronomy with chord tables and the sexagesimal grid. Degrees, minutes, seconds, the language our circles still speak. And he doesn't stop at the stars. He writes on vision and light, on musical harmony, on the then assumed ties between sky and human affairs. And he compiles a vast geography of cities and rivers with coordinates. The book travels too, read in antiquity, translated into Arabic as Almagest in the 800s, then back into Latin to anchor university astronomy in Europe. Why did it rule for a millennium? Because it worked. You could predict planetary positions and eclipses, set calendars, help navigators. Day to day, semester to semester, it delivered. And that practicality kept the Ptolemaic system on top, bridging the ancient world to early modern science until new eyes, new instruments, and new models finally turned the page.
Great. That's all for today. A quick reminder, today we spoke about the rise of astronomy, about Aristotle, and about Ptolemy.
And next time, we'll hear your stories about the sky.
Exactly. I hope our podcasts spark curiosity and interest in the cosmos.
Absolutely. That's it for today. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening. Bye.